Yes, they're fake. My real ones tried to kill me. Yeah.
Bienvenidos amigos, this is Fuerteventura, one of the 7 main Canary Islands and my beloved home for a good few years. In that time I've known some thoroughly fascinating people and it seems only fair that I share some of them with you. Joining me in this programme is Emilia, currently living in Caleta de Fusti. Not only does she have a lovely sunny personality, but her story is an important one, particularly for the ladies to start off with. Welcome along, Emilia.
Thank you.
How long have you been living on the island?
I came in December 2011 to this island, and first of all I went to the south. I was living there for a year-ish, and then I moved to Caleta. And now I'm here. What
drew you to Fuerteventura in the first place?
I needed some kind of change in my life, and there was the desire to learn a new language. And I was like, okay, so let's do Spanish and let's do it on the Canary Islands.
Okay.
And I've never been to Fuerteventura before. So the plan was actually to be here only for 6 months to learn the language. And then I just loved it, and so I stayed.
Okay. And what languages do you speak at the moment then?
Well, I was born in Poland, so I speak Polish. Then we moved to Germany, so I speak German, and then I went to Russia in order to study there, so I speak Russian as well.
You're enjoying life out here in the relative wilderness, which is wonderful, but it also has its challenges. One that's affecting you right now involves preventing health problems in the future. Now, you have a hereditary condition which poses a considerable risk of developing cancer. Because we're about the same age, I'll hasten to say that we're rather young to be thinking about that. So, but what's the issue, and why should younger people, younger women particularly, be looking into this?
Yes, it's especially important for those who already have cancer in the family history. It's not the cancer itself that it's passed on to the next generation. It's a gene mutation that leads to cancer.
Right.
Yeah, so getting tested for this gene mutation can be very important for your life. It gives you some important information about your body. All of us have these genes. These genes are called BRCA1 and 2. And the function of these genes is that they protect our body from cell growth, from uncontrolled cell growth, means tumors. But there are some cases where these genes do not work properly. That means they cannot protect the body from cancer.
BRCA, what does it stand for?
Yeah, it stands for breast cancer. BR, breast, and CA, cancer.
Right, okay.
Or some people also call it BRCA genes.
BRCA genes.
Yeah.
As in Barack Obama.
Yes. So a person who has this gene mutation is not defended, not protected by these genes from cancer growing, and there is an approximate probability of 90% that this person gets cancer.
Well, that's an intimidating prospect because you're thinking, well, I've still got so much that I want to do with my life.
Exactly.
And emotionally, it must have been quite a blow when you were diagnosed.
To think differently about life, about family, about time, especially time.
Yeah.
So, but the worst thing is that nobody understands you. Nobody, because actually it's a kind of a rare thing.
It's a thing that I'm assuming because people go, oh, well, there's nothing wrong with you.
Exactly, yeah.
There's nothing wrong with you now.
Yes. They say, well, but you're so young and you're so healthy.
Is there a support network out there for people who are in your exact position?
Yes, this is very, very important because the fear of cancer is constantly there. So actually, although you're healthy in your body, maybe still, you have it here and you're going crazy. So the support network is so important because actually I don't know anybody who has here on this island. My family, some of my family members have it, but not here on the island. So I can't talk to the people when I want to.
No.
So there is a support network in the internet, and this literally saves my psychological balance.
Yeah.
Yeah. There are some groups in the Facebook network, in the Facebook community, and people there share their stories, their experiences, their thoughts, fears, and feelings. And actually, I'm the whole time reading this, and this helps me. So this is very important, and this is from the whole world. So
what's the percentage of the population that have this mutation?
As far as I know, it's 5% of the people having this mutation.
Okay, 5 in every 100 people. The population at the last count it's about 115,000 people in Fuerteventura. So that's that's a lot of people, obviously spread over a wide area because of the land mass of the island is pretty big. But that means I can't do the maths in my head because I'm a bit thick like that. But that's quite a high chance that someone else on the island has this particular issue and might not even know about it.
Exactly, I'm sure it is.
Yeah, which is why it's important to get this message of yours out there in case people are listening to this and they think, well, I want to find out more. I'm a bit worried now, and I want to hook up with people.
Yes. There are some Facebook communities, hashtags on Instagram, and there you can see pictures after surgery or how life is for other people, so you can kind of compare it. Also, there were some new words created, words like the breasties and the previvor. I've never heard this word before. Previvor. Right. Yes. So a previvor is a person like me that actually is not having cancer yet, but has a predisposition of having it.
Right.
So a previvor takes drastic measures like mastectomy and hysterectomy in order to previve rather than survive.
As with a lot of problems here on Fuerteventura, finding the right kind of help is difficult because you're cut off from the mainland.
If you want to do all this via the Spanish national health system, all right? So this is a long way, but the state is paying for that, so you don't have to worry. It's just that you have to wait a long time until you get all the appointments, So I went to the medico de cabecera. He sent me to the gynecologist. The gynecologist sent me to the oncologist. Then your family tree must be studied precisely. As soon as I have studied the family tree, only then you can get tested. For that, you have to go to Gran Canaria, right? Then this procedure is very quick. They just take a bit of your blood, and that's it.
Right.
So actually, the whole process is actually only for 2 minutes less than this.
So the physical process is very quick.
Exactly. It's
but
normal.
It's getting all the appointments to...
Exactly, yes. I've waited all the time. 3 months here, 3 months there, 3 months there. And now I'm doing this since 2.5 years.
Yeah.
So actually the process is a long one, but then the extraction of blood is 1 minute or so. And then you still have to wait between 1 and 6 months in order to get the results.
Right, because this is a special blood test, isn't it?
Yes, it's a very complicated test.
Right.
They have to do a lot of stuff in the lab, and this is why it takes so long. And this is why it's so expensive. So not everybody will be tested because it's so complicated and expensive. And
right.
You have
so
to
this is why they studied the family tree in the first place to make it cost effective, I suppose. What happened after that?
There are two options for the gene mutation carriers. Go to the drastic measure, as I'm going to. I will explain it later. Or you do it like the softer one, which is being part of an early detection program. Means every 6 months you have to go to do some MRIs, some mammograms, and the general blood test. Yes, the early detection program is like it helps you to detect the cancer in a very early stage, so that the treatment has more effect.
Yeah, it's more directed.
Exactly.
But of course, I assume the problem with that is that you could develop a problem in one area. You start treatment on that, and then a problem occurs in another area as well.
Exactly.
So I assume this is maybe why you've gone for the more drastic measure.
Exactly. I did it because it's reducing the cancer risk. Now I have a probability of 93% to have cancer. When I go through this drastic measure, it will be reduced to 5%.
Right.
5-7%, something like this. So this is a big difference.
Of course.
Yeah, so I decided that I don't want to have these parts of my body which are risky. That means my breasts and my ovaries.
Right.
I don't need both of them. Sorry. Actually, well, I prefer to stay healthy without ovaries and without my breasts, especially when I will get some new ones. So
right, okay.
Well, it seems funny.
Let's have them lined up in there like on a shelf when you pick them. So I left that one and that one, sorry, I'm being very immature.
No.
I'm sorry.
That's fine, because in the community they have shirts like Yes, they're fake. My real ones tried to kill me. Yeah. Hi. Yeah. So yeah, actually, they are ticking bombs.
So you've gone through the channels to have the diagnosis and the preventative operations carried out using the state system, using the state funding. But you can do it privately as well, I understand.
Yes, that's possible if you have enough money for that.
Yeah.
This is really,
how rich do you have to be?
Well, in Spain here it costs more or less 700 euros.
Yeah.
In Germany more or less 1,000, and I've seen in the United States $4,000. So this is crazy. It's just a test. It's just being tested.
Right.
Yeah. So if you want to do it here in Spain via the private way, you have to go to a private doctor. He will take some blood. He will send it off to the lab, and then you have to wait the same time, up to 6 months.
Yeah.
And you have to pay 700 euros.
Yeah, so the blood work's very expensive.
Yeah,
then.
exactly.
Yeah.
At the moment, maybe this will change one day.
The operations, it's called a mastectomy, isn't it?
Mastectomy, yes. It means they have to cut off the whole tissue. This will happen in the next days. So I will be off work, I think 2 months or something, because I will not be able to move my arms.
Yeah, it's quite a debilitating operation, isn't it?
Yes,
I think
exactly.
when you have a full mastectomy, and then the replacement breasts, they. You don't get those instantly, do you? Or
Yes.
you do get them instantly?
Yes, exactly.
Oh, right. Oh, okay.
Immediately, yeah. It's in one surgery. Well, there are two surgeons cutting off the tissue, and then the plastic surgeon is putting on the silicone.
Right.
Yes.
See, this kind of talk makes me go, ooh, because I'm like,
for you.
but there are some people out there, my girlfriend being one of them, is going, more blood, gore, tell me all the details. So I'm going to leave that bit in just for those sick kind of people who love all the blood and stuff like that. You're staying in the hospital, are you?
I'm staying there only the first night and day, and then we have to go to an apartment, to a private one. Yeah. But I have to stay in Gran Canaria. I can't fly back to Fuerteventura. Right. So it's more or less 2 weeks that I have to stay there, because I will have some drains in, and until they are not out, I can't fly. Right. Okay. So yeah, but it's okay. I will just be close to the clinic and come over to reviews, and it's just now a quite hard period, but then I will be completely fine.
And your boyfriend's going with you?
Yes, he's going with me.
That's good.
Yeah, this is good. I couldn't be alone. The doctor said that I can't be alone because I can't reach things that are a little bit higher than this level.
We were estimating a recovery period of what, between 4 and 8 weeks?
Exactly, 4 to 8 weeks. And then the recovery period for the hysterectomy, for the removal of the ovaries, is less. Yeah. It's about 1 month or something.
Are you having the hysterectomy done at the same time, or?
No,
that would be too much.
Exactly, yeah. I waited until next year, more or less. I think I want to do it in the beginning of the next year. Yeah. It is possible, actually, to do this both things at once. It is possible. Yeah. At the beginning, I was thinking about this, because I said, okay, come, let's do it in one.
I think I would be like that. Get it over. If I'm going to be in a sick bed, let's get it over and done with as quickly as possible.
Yes, but then the doctors convinced me that once you have your ovaries out, you will immediately start with your menopause. And I'm like, okay, I'm 39, so maybe we should wait a little bit more. Also, there are some other aspects that are affecting your body when you don't have ovaries anymore. For example, I have read that your body is not able to produce calcium, and this has effects on the bones. So you might get osteoporosis. Right. After the removal, exactly, as a result of
so lots of things to consider, but all the time you're lowering the risks, because there's no way around it. It sounds like you're in for a bit of a rough ride over the next few months, but I think you're being extremely brave about it. You're very brave to talk about it on camera so openly and so candidly, and we thank you for that.
Thank you for these words, but I'm not sure if it's being brave or being scared. Actually, it's the fear that pushes me to do that, the fear of cancer. I really hope to help others, because I know that it's so complicated in your head, really. Yeah. And if I can only help one person, that's already a lot.
Yeah. what you're talking about is really interesting, and I'm sure it will open up a few questions from people, from our viewers. I mean, if anyone's concerned about whether they might have what you've got, I mean, what's your advice to them, particularly if they live here on the Canary Islands?
Never give up. Never give up, especially if you are living on a small island. Some things are different here, and sometimes science is some steps ahead than we are here. For example, in my case, nobody took me for serious with the cancer thing, with the gene mutation thing, because they said, hey, cancer is in your father's line, in the family, in your family, but in your father's line and not in your mother's line. And this was a big mistake, because finally I got tested. I was fighting for that a long time, and I got tested, and I am BRCA positive, and I am so grateful about this, because this gives me an important information about my body. Now I can take action. I can avoid cancer. So actually this information is or can be life-changing.
What tends to happen here on Fuerteventura is the island itself takes a while to catch up with the rest of the world. I mean, obviously some people view that as a very nice thing, and in some respects it is a very nice thing, but not when it comes to medical matters like this. If you wanted to be sure,
first of all, you really have to look carefully in your family which cancer there is, because it's breast and ovarian and prostate cancer and pancreatic cancer that are the commons.
So it's possible, this is possible in men as well?
Exactly.
Right.
Yes. Also men can have breast cancer. Yeah.
Right.
But it's not that common as in women.
Okay.
Yeah. And then you go to see the médico de cabecera, explains this to him. That one will send you to the gynecologist, and that one will send you to the oncologist. And in between, somewhere there, it has to be clear that the doctor knows that it's also possible to inherit it from the father's line and not only from the mother's line. Because if cancer is in your father's line, and you go and tell this to the doctor might not have the recent information that it's possible from both lines.
So that was the case here on Fuerteventura.
Exactly.
The doctors just didn't have the information.
Exactly.
And they didn't. So, so they need to know that. Once you've got the diagnosis, then you can pass that on to the state. So
exactly.
you don't have to pay. Obviously, the operation itself would be very expensive, I would imagine.
I think so.
I certainly hope this video informs not only potential patients in a better way, but maybe also it might reach out to some of the doctors here. Obviously, I hope people don't have to go through what you've been through to get the information that they need in order to move forward. So for you've been, well, not lucky in the sense that you're carrying this gene, but you've been lucky in the sense that you've managed to get a positive diagnosis finally, and it has been proven. So you are now going to have this operation. You're going to have two operations actually, and but actually you're in good company, because doesn't Angelina Jolie have this? I was thinking of a high profile case. Does Angelina Jolie have exactly the same thing as you?
Yes, but she is BRCA1 positive and I'm too.
That's really interesting information. Thank you so much for sharing it with us, Emilia.
Thank you.
We wish you the very best. We really wish you the very best in your surgery. When you're recovered, we'd love to have you back and tell us how you got on. That'd be great. Thanks ever so much, Emilia.
Thank you.
We're attaching a few links to this video. If you like further information and would like to follow Emilia's story, you're posting on Instagram, aren't you?
Yes.
So you can stay in touch with Emilia. Please do send her your love and your prayers. Thank you very much for watching.